Welcome to Running for the Bus, presented by BKDMC, supported by Runna and hosted by me, Ben Kelleher. Today, I'm excited to be joined by the team behind Unsanctioned Athletics, Luke Myers, George Rees-Jones and Gareth Maguire. Unsanctioned Athletics has been taking the running scene by storm with its unique approach to racing, where there are no rules or routes, which creates a fast and frenetic energy for those involved. Not only that, but each of my guests today have running in their bones, from 100-metre sprints to marathons and so much more. So guys, thanks for joining me here in the studio. How are we all?
All good, thank you. Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Absolute pleasure. I know you've got a super busy day here in London, so thanks for dropping in and seeing me and talking all things unsanctioned today. So before we get into all of that, can you sort of just each tell me briefly how you originally got into running yourselves? Do you want to take it away, Luke?
Yeah, so I've been running about 10 years. I got into running much later in life than these guys.
Sure.
About 10 years ago, I was going to the gym pretty regularly, sort of 4 or 5 times a week after work, just on my commute on the way home.
Nice.
And then I changed jobs to one that required a lot more commuting around the country. So that sort of threw my routine out of whack completely. And I was like, right, how's the best way to get my exercise in? And I just started throwing the only pair of trainers I had, which I think were actually a pair of badminton trainers.
It's a bit like me, to be fair. I still have like some AstroTurf, so
literally just threw those into the boot of the car, a pair of shorts and a footy shirt, and wherever work took me of an evening, I would just get out, and I was only really doing sort of 5-6K at a time. Then just caught the bug from there, started going down to park run, joined my local athletics club, and kind of fell down the rabbit hole from there to where we are today with my own run crew, Unsanctioned. A few, now 9 marathons under my belt, and a few other achievements from there as well. So
yeah, super exciting. And like you say, that journey from there, and being able to just get out and do it, I think is what brings a lot of people into it initially. And
yeah, definitely.
It's amazing to see where it's gone. What about for you, George? Has it been similar?
Similar probably in the recent years, but I started running, I did county level sprinting when I was 14 to 17. Absolutely loved it, but I also played loads of football. And there was a point where I think I was between 16 and 17, sort of had to make a decision. Chose football, kind of left running, kept getting injured with football because I was quite quick, so your groins and hamstrings just explode.
Sure.
That just kept happening, and I just didn't know what to do. Was playing football in my early mid-20s. I fell out of love with it because I just couldn't sustain fitness.
Yeah.
Got into running over lockdown, as everyone did. Remembered, I'm quite good at running that doesn't involve a football. And then it just kind of snowballed. Met these guys at Luke's running club. And then just sort of really fell in love with running, did a few halves, did a few marathons. And now I'm at a decent place. It's I can't sort of live my life without running now, which is quite a nice little... It's nice. It's a nice thing to have. I'm not sure my partner enjoys that because I'm I just need to go out and run for an hour. And she's no, you don't. I'm no, I do.
Yeah, I'd be a way better boyfriend if I'm out running, right?
Give me that hour.
That little structure really does help. And what about for yourself, Gareth, as well?
Yeah, so I've been running since I was a kid. So my dad, he was a runner. So he'd do races and I'd end up just doing sort of the fun run.
Sure.
Like a picture of me at home, where honestly, I'm probably 4 years old, massive race number on. It's about as big as my torso. So I've basically been running ever since. And as a teenager, it was always sort of running on football. And then similar to George, as I sort of got into late teens, early 20s, I was okay, probably need to commit to one of them. So sort of fully committed to running, and that's kind of basically my life now, which depends on which way you're inclined. That's either sad or amazing. I'll let you be the judge of that. But so my day job revolves around running, sort of do a lot of coaching, and then just sort of running myself as well. And then obviously met these guys, and running's taken me pretty much everywhere. So go everywhere with a pair of running trainers. So it's amazing. Everywhere you go, you can just get out and run, explore. So I do love it. So it's great that it's my life.
That's great.
Just been doing it forever, basically. Yeah.
And we're going to get a little bit more into your coaching actually, and the stuff you do with Unsanctioned as well, coaching wise. But before we do that, Luke, obviously you said you sort of got into it and you've done 9 marathons now, and you're a very good marathon runner. You're a 2:39 marathoner. How did you make that sort of progression from that initial stage to now?
Basically through coaching. I did my first 3 marathons uncoached.
Sure.
So my first one was actually Berlin 7 years ago. I ran 3:17 just off a paper plan from Runner's World.
Nice.
Like a lot of first-time marathon runners do. And got myself down to 3:01 when I did Valencia Marathon, my 3rd marathon.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was like, right, I want to get to the next
Of
the
course.
next place.
Yeah, you're on that sort of precipice.
I actually took on an S&C coach. I was fairly comfortable with how my running routine looked.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew the S&C was actually a bit of a gap for me in terms of doing all the complementary stuff around the easy runs, the sessions, and the long run. Yeah,
you're telling me. I've also just I'm doing a lot more. And this morning I had to do my biggest strength and conditioning before this interview, and it's a tough time. It's you spend a lot of time on the mat questioning life.
Yeah, so no, I took on a mate of mine actually from my school days, Ollie, who coached me. Just gave me an S&C plan, gave me a lot of accountability on that.
Nice.
And did my 4th marathon during lockdown. Just a run through one at Bedford Autodrome, a really, really exciting one. But a necessity during lockdown, and got 2:54. And amazing. I think at that point I'd sort of like, right, this is the goal that's been sort of like there in the distance for a little while, and then decided to take on a running coach as well, and that sort of progressed me down to from 2:54 to 2:39. So hopefully there's a little bit more left in the tank for a future one as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So we'll definitely get into a bit more about that as well, and where you're going to go with it. So for you, George, you're a filmmaker, obviously by day. So how do you intertwine training? Because I know obviously you've got into marathons and stuff as well, like into your day as it is.
It's hard. It's difficult because my job is so hands-on, and it's becoming more and more like in and around the sports industry as well. Yeah, which is amazing because it's always been a goal. If I wasn't going to be a footballer, I wanted to be a filmmaker, and if I wanted to be a filmmaker, I wanted to do that in sport. Sure. So that's finally happening, and it's just fascinating because, like, I'll be following athletes around the world basically, but their lives are more important than mine because I need to do my day job. I need to film them day to day. To say with my most recent one was with Tom Evans. Following him was amazing. It was insane. But the hours that I was working with him were like a 9 to 5. But it's not just like it's at a desk 9 to 5. It's I'm running around chasing the fastest trail runner in the world. And making sure that I'm still like focused on getting a good shot and getting a good like story out of it. Yeah. So it's quite hard. So when the days are done, I really have to sometimes force myself, all right, let's just do 10K. Let's just get that out. If I've got a session, I try and do that where I've got like a quiet day, like an editing day. Because it's, people probably don't see it, but you stood up like when you're filming, you stood up the whole time, basically. Yeah. And if you're filming sports, I really like the handheld aesthetic and the like frantic nature of sport. Yeah. Like, so I feel like part of it you should do, if you're filming running, do some running, but take your camera, and it just gives a wicked style. Yeah. But it just makes like recovery quite impossible. It's tough to stay on top of, but when I'm coached well, coaches are always like understanding like what's going on. So
they can like plan for it.
And it's just like there could be a day where I've got a nice week planned for training, and then I'll be like, oh no, this job has all come up, so I can't do any of it. Yeah, can I try and work it out in like 4 days? And it always works out. I just need to like. It's just it does always work itself out.
Yeah,
so
it's about finding it right, and as you say, if you're working with people who maybe can support you on that, because I also sort of find that like you're busy doing lots of things, and you're trying to talking to you guys before about it's a busy weekend and trying to fit in this run tomorrow and different things, but you have to kind of find a way in, right? And for
you find some wiggle room somewhere, and it always works.
Yeah, and as you say, with what you do, I mean, I've seen you guys out on different courses. I think like at Race to the King and stuff like that, and I remember being like, how are these guys doing it? Because it's like all day and you're out there, and I'm like, we're like knackered, obviously running it, but you guys are filming it and sort of running around, and like there's so much going on.
It's just having a good support network, who you're working with as well. Like if it's just me, I make sure, I just go all in, because why not? But if you've got like a decent crew around you, you have to lean on each other to make sure you're doing the right thing, and to make sure there's a rest here, make sure you're eating, drinking water. Because for some reason, when you're filming, apparently you don't need water until you've finished, and you're like, oh my God, I've not had any water today. So you just need people to just check where you are. And check how
I'm sure it's like thrilling as well. Like it's got to be so exciting when you're out there doing it. And so,
you just forget
like,
absolutely everything. You start the shoot, and then it's lunchtime, and then it's finished, and you're like, oh, I've just seen the whole world in front of my eyes. And time passes so quickly when you are filming sports. It's awesome. And it's just you just got to keep at it, because if you don't, then you'll miss it.
Absolutely, and just enjoy it along the way. And obviously for you as well, Gareth, you sort of mentioned that you got into running when you were a lot younger. But am I right in sort of thinking that over the course of time you became a little bit disillusioned with it, or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Kind of get to a point. Probably been doing it over 25 years. Never to like a massively high level, never sort of elite or anything. But you get to a point where it gets a bit monotonous, especially as it sort of ties in with a day job and stuff. So if you've sort of done a day at work where you sort of working with runners, chatting with runners, coaching, you get home and it's like, all right, how can I switch off? Oh, I know, I'll go for a run. Then come home, probably consume some more running content, and then go to bed. And I'm like, oh, cool, what a day. It gets to a point where probably the last few years, especially, I've found sort of weirdly with my own running, it's probably been like the most challenging. So just trying to, I got into some really good shape for like Manchester Marathon last year, then just body kind of broke down a little bit, mainly through my own neglect. So I just took a bit of a rest after the marathon. It's like, sweet, let's go on the beers. I say broke down, it was just like, it's like self-destruction. But exactly, like, woe me. It's hard to see where we're wrong. But so I kind of became like a little bit disillusioned with my own running and kind of a little bit with the sport, just because.
I guess it's quite overwhelming, isn't it? In a way, if you're all the time, that's what you're sort of
absolutely consuming. Like, and then I think, kind of had a word to myself and was like, come on, like, why would I be disillusioned? Like, it's such a privilege, really, to be, to have the opportunity. Like, I get to chuff around like with these guys and sort of go running all these places, and I'm sort of getting to like coach people and sort of work with people that are like really loving sort of the sport, and running's really nice, and I'm getting some great opportunities. So it's like, why am I becoming disillusioned with running, or am I just being like, as like Roy Keane said, like a big baby? Like, so there's an element of like, I was like disillusioned, but I think I've sort of basically like worked on kind of finding gratitude from like, these opportunities, and like quite like privileged to be able to do a lot of the stuff that I do. So, and people would sort of kill for those opportunities. So I've kind of reframed it. I've done a lot of work on like kind of adjusting and reframing it, and not to say like it's easy every day. It's not hard either, really, let's face it. But I've kind of fell back in love with running again, and that's starting to, it's sort of just enjoying like the process a bit more, and just enjoying like getting to all the, like I said, we've been in like Chamonix and Paris the last few weeks, and just sort of running around there like with these guys. It's like, how can I hate this? Do you know, like how can I become fed up with this? So I think
you've like touched on a really fair point there, in that like the day to day sometimes can be quite challenging. Like it can be quite hard. Like I know sort of similar. Like you might be at an event here, or like you've like just been to Tokyo or going to Boston or wherever you might be going on these massive events and these incredible things. But then after you've done them, you also have to get back out the next day. Like the first thing I did when I found out about Boston the other day was go for a run. Because that's what I needed to do that day. So it's like you need to do like that sort of graft in the middle as well, right? I think sometimes you look at it and you go, everything's going to be
know.
easy now because you've just done an amazing
Yeah, I've
time,
done the
whatever you've
hard
done.
bit.
Like, so,
But no, yeah, sort of life goes on with it, and I always feel like such a wally, like moaning about it, because it's, I mean, it is like, it's really minor, isn't it? Really, like sort of becoming disillusioned with running, like what a travesty. But it's all relative. So
Yeah.
so from
I think
like
when you have a
personal
break
point of view-
sometimes,
Yeah,
you actually
exactly.
realise, oh no, like I really miss
sometimes
it.
need
Like,
to take a step back. Yeah, exactly, to sort of find yourself with it. So yeah, definitely. There was a time where I became disillusioned with it and was like, it's not my favourite thing in the world. But I think I'd say actually one of the biggest things that I kind of realised was I was just doing so much running like on my own.
yeah,
So now it's like I'll go for a run. I'll either run with these guys, like I said, somewhere really nice, or like friends from home, and like in Nottingham, and we'll go for a run and we'll go for like a coffee afterwards, and then have a chat, and then it just reframes like what a run is for me. It's not
Sure.
just like that chore of like I better go and do like 6 miles, and it's like wet and dark, and like it's just I don't fancy. I've been at work all day, and it's like actually no, let's sort of go for a run, and sort of in the morning or something, and I'll go meet a friend for a coffee or for a run as well. So those things are great, and kind of really, really changed the way I saw my own running. After like sort of years of going through like the club system, and like where you turn up for a session, you blast through warm up, no one talks. It's it's quite funny. So things have changed, but it's great. I love it.
Yeah. It's interesting, that sort of social aspect that's maybe brought you back in.
Yeah,
more
100%.
so. And obviously, like, as you say, you sort of met Luke and George on the way, and they're both marathon runners. Have you got any aspirations yourself at some point, maybe?
I did Manchester Marathon last year, and everyone always talks about like getting the bug and like, oh yeah, they come straight out of it. Like, I'm going to book another one.
Yeah.
Man, that never hit me. Never once hit me. I came out of it and I was like, whoa, that was intense. Like, that's a lot. And I think that's kind of a little bit of burnout after that.
Yeah.
And I never really had the desire to sort of go back into it. So I kind of want to go back into the shorter distances. I'm sort of just working my way back to fitness again now. And
Sure.
I don't know, I love sort of like 5Ks, 10Ks. I don't know, that's just, I love that. And like, I'll go back to the marathon at some point, but it's not like, maybe I'd like scratch the itch with it and stuff, but I'm not,
obviously, you smashed it first time round as well, sub 3 on the first
attempt.
attempt.
On the first time.
So I was like, left myself nothing to sort of kind of
just straight out of the blocks.
So it was good, but I don't have that massive desire
you might,
to go back
as you say,
to
give it a bit of time. I actually left like 8 years between the time I did London. I was 18 when I did London, and then I decided to come back and do Berlin and New York back to back.
I mean,
so maybe something like that might. If
I do that, I'll be 40. No way.
Yeah, I personally wouldn't suggest leaving it that long. But
maybe another I've probably got 2 years left in me. 8 years. I think I just have to do what I can in 8 years. So
Get straight back out there.
That's it. Maybe that might have inspired me just to get out there. So I'll sign up for one after this.
Keep me posted. As I say,
will do.
Maybe get yourself up into New York. Or something.
That's it.
It's not too far away. As well as that, Luke, you're one of the founders or one of the co-founders behind Embankment Run Club, and I know you guys sort of met along the way there. So what inspired you to create it?
Yeah, so me and my wife moved to Nottingham 5 years ago now, and it was a bit of a life change for us. We moved to Nottingham without knowing anyone. We were living in Kettering at the time. There's not a lot going on in Kettering. We kind of both ended up there by circumstance, not really by any real desire to be there.
Yeah.
And during lockdown, we were sort of looking at buying a new place, and as you do, we were just looking where we lived. Yeah. And I think as lockdown set in, we were like, why are we looking here? There is nothing for us here. We didn't have a massive social circle.
Sure. Did you meet in Kettering, or did you know?
I was living in Peterborough at the time when I met Millie.
Yeah.
And she was already in Kettering.
Right.
I was in Peterborough for work. Millie was there because her family had moved up there a few years prior.
So that's sort of what brought you together.
So again, it was just kind of like, it was just circumstance that was really holding us there. And we used to go to Nottingham quite a bit for hanging out. Is it like less than an hour on the train from Kettering up to Nottingham? So we'd often go out for dinner in Nottingham, go for drinks or go shopping or whatever.
Yeah.
And we really liked the city. And we actually, during lockdown, when we could only like see people outside, we went and met my parents in Willerton Park, which is a really, really nice park in Nottingham. It was like halfway between my parents and where we were at the time. And we were just walking around and we'd sort of put the house search on pause for a bit.
Sure.
We weren't feeling that inspired. And then we were walking around like, why not here? Our jobs had become a lot more flexible because of COVID. We had a couple of chats with our respective bosses at the time, and we're like, if we were to relocate here, is there any risk of like it being a problem with our current setup? It didn't actually change my commute. It didn't. I'd become a lot more flexible. Millie essentially became fully remote beyond that point. So we were like, why not? There's nothing stopping us. We knew Nottingham was a city with a lot going on, lots of sport with 2 football teams, a cricket team, hockey team, loads of good stuff there. That sort of ticked a lot of boxes for us.
Yeah, I mean, poor football, but okay, fair enough. Like, sorry, I'm a Leeds
All
fan.
in for that.
I've become
Solidarity,
I've become a die-hard Forest fan in the last 5 years, which winds these two up no end. We thought like it's actually a good shot of like building a social life, because we had a lot of friends from like university, and we'd sort of we'd all become scattered across the country, but we were really craving that sort of that local social scene, which we didn't have in Kettering. And we'd been there 6 months. Obviously, lockdowns were still going on, so we didn't have a lot of opportunities to meet people in that time. And then we tried out a couple of running clubs, a couple of the athletics clubs. And there was just no one there our age. No one really, kind of as Gareth alluded to, like you just turned up, smashed a warm up. No one spoke to you. Did a session. Again, no one's really chatting. Session finishes, everyone just says goodbye and goes home. And it wasn't ticking. No one was really that keen to interact. And there was also not many people our age. But what we had seen in sort of the 6 months we'd been there, when we were just running on our own or running together, like there was loads of people our age. Kind of as George alluded to, so many people getting into running during lockdown. There were loads of people running this route called the Embankment in Nottingham, which is basically Trent Bridge over to a tram crossing bridge just down the river. And like a loop of the Embankment is 5K, completely traffic free. And we'd sort of seen like the rise of run clubs. Obviously, Run Dem Crew have been around for more than a decade now, but loads of run clubs in London were starting to pop up. Your Friendly Runners, for example. We'd seen like Queen Square Run Club, Left Hand Giant in Bristol start to gather pace post lockdown. And we're like, there's nothing like this in Nottingham. And we'd seen all these people like running on their own, and we're like, is there a way we could bring these people together that isn't the traditional running scene? Because there's like there is us, there's something stopping these people signing up to athletics clubs, whether that's the red tape, a lot of forms to sign, memberships to pay. Again, like the lack of social scene, the lack of people the same age group. It's
people just feeling like
and
nervous and then like sort of anxious, intimidated by it. And I speak to lots of runners who feel the same way, and they could be really good runners. You know, they're multi-marathon runners, and yet going to a run club sometimes is intimidating.
So we just thought like, there's no one doing this, the run crew thing in Nottingham, and why not give it a go? So we said, right, we're going to start a run club, run crew. It's going to be 5K or 10K around the Embankment, 1 or 2 laps, finish at the pub, go for a drink afterwards.
Me too.
Started pushing out on Instagram, sticking some flyers and some stickers up around the Embankment to sort of let people know it was happening. Did the first one, and we were sort of quite taken aback when 25 people turned up to the first one. We were like, geez, 25 people want to run with us. We don't know what we're doing here.
That's a pretty good start, I'd say.
And we couldn't believe it. I think we'd have been happy if 4 people had turned up, but for 25 to come on the first one, it was sort of like, right.
Showed that people
there's an appetite for this. And it just sort of grew and grew from there. By sort of we started in the August of 2021. By the January, we sort of had a regular group, about 60 people coming. We've just done our 4th birthday, and we've now probably got a membership of around 650 runners.
Wow.
It's really accessible. It's free, inclusive. Anyone can just turn up. No red tape. Nothing you need to do to sign up beforehand. Just
turn
show up on a Wednesday at 6 o'clock and come and join a run. We're regularly getting sort of 200 people on a run. And then, Gareth turned up one week. George turned up at some point shortly after. I can't exactly remember when, but got chatting to Gareth, got chatting to George, and that's kind of how brought the three of us together, and that's how Unsanctioned was born, really. But we can touch into that a bit more. But Embankment's been great, I think.
Along the way,
being able to bring Nottingham's runners together, and it's great to see sort of the demographic we bring in. We've got a real core demographic of sort of that 25 to 34-year-old runner, but we're seeing the shoulders of that grow. A lot more students coming and joining us. We've got 2 big universities in Nottingham, so we see that crowd coming along now, which is it's really refreshing to see, because I certainly wasn't looking for a run club at 6 p.m. on a Wednesday evening when I was at uni. But
I was just say I did my first marathon before I went to uni, and then I left at 8 years. So that shows what uni did.
So it's great to see different younger people getting into running because there is a more accessible, more social environment, and then equally we get some older people come along as well who just slot in quite nicely. It's a really it's a really great community, and myself and Millie, we're really proud of it, and it's made Nottingham our home. We're definitely not leaving anytime soon, and
nice.
It's been great. So
I think that's actually interesting as well in terms of the demographic and the sort of expanding demographic, because I do think that people are not as involved as you say, maybe on a Friday night wanting to go and definitely still do want to go out and have a great time. Sure, but there's also people who want to go out and train or just socialize in a different way. And as you were sort of talking about as well, that sort of social scene now that's developed, and we've seen it massively, obviously, in run clubs across London, and obviously in Nottingham now, and all these different spots as well. So it really is sort of interesting to see how that's grown. And I was sort of going to ask you about how can people get involved and what it is, but by all sort of understanding, it's just turn up and
just
And
if anyone's got any questions, they can just drop us a message on the Instagram account. But literally, it's a case of just turning up at 6 o'clock.
If I was feeling a little bit nervous about it or apprehensive about coming, what would you sort of say to that?
I mean, we always have a one-to-one sort of introduction with first timers. So before we get the run started, we always say to people who are there for the first time, come over here, going to give you a bit of a briefing, just sort of settle any nerves. We get everyone's names, so at least they know who I am, or they know who Millie is. They know who each other is, who's come on come for the first time, and it just helps settle them. We tell them the route. We tell them everyone's going to be able to just run together. There's a real range of paces, nothing to be scared about, and then make sure they know about the drinks afterwards, and that they know there's a WhatsApp group as well, so they can be part of that wider community as well. And I think that just really helps sort of settle people in.
Yeah, that was the word I was sort of thinking of along the way there, is that community that you're building. It's because it's not just about people who are, 2:39 marathon runners or or people who maybe are sort of doing sort of sprint distances or other things like that. It's a real mix of people that you can.
Yeah, and it's been because we've got a really diverse group in terms of ability, and it's really inspiring to see their journeys grow. I mean, we have people who came to our first one who are still coming today.
Yeah.
At the time, they were only running 5K just recreationally, and they've gone on to run multiple marathons. Some of them have done ultras. Some of them are absolutely smashing PBs because they've caught that running bug, and it's the community and sort of the support network and the inspiration they get from other members of that community has really driven people on, and sort of like I caught the running bug sort of on my own a few years ago. They've been inspired by the community around them, and that's really
it probably inspires you as well. It inspires when you're surrounded by it.
Seeing people achieve goals that they either didn't, maybe they didn't think were possible for them. And go on and smash those is really, really motivating my own running as well. So
absolutely. I think being surrounded by a community that can lift you up and inspire you is something that is obviously so helpful, and running clubs do that so well, like yourself. So obviously, as you say, you guys met at Embankment Run Club, and then Unsanctioned has sort of come from there. Can you talk to me a little bit about its origins? How did it come about?
Yeah, me and Garrett, we went through ERC. We do a few social events. We went to one called a little weekend beer festival called Peakender, which I don't think happens anymore, which is a real shame. Yeah. But on the last day, me and Gareth were just sat having a pizza and a couple of beers, and
nice. That's how
probably the first time we really got chatting in depth about our own running and our sort of how we felt about the running world. And we were just sharing some frustrations really about how running had maybe felt it got a little bit sanitized, a little bit not very exciting anymore. And maybe like the edge and that excitement you get from racing has sort of been taken away a little bit just by like running. Don't get me wrong, like running's in its best place ever. Like you can race every weekend if you want to, anywhere in the country. But a lot of those races have become quite formulaic. You know, whether it's just multiple laps of parks or, you know, like not great races with not a great atmosphere. And
Sure.
for us, like we were talking about like, what got us excited to race, and we were both talking about this, that raw adrenaline, that energy you get from like going off on a start line. And you were the same, George, like talking about that when we got talking about later on. It's that real excitement you get from taking off on a start line. And not really knowing what's going to happen. Like, you never really know what's going to happen.
Something special about racing, right? There's something that does give you more of a push. It's something I've got to bring it more into my training actually, and it is to try and so when you turn up to something where you really want to do something, you've got it in you, that sort of racing experience.
Yeah, and you can have the best laid plans of those, but you never really know what's going to happen. Like,
no, you can prepare as best as possible. Right?
Yeah, you can have all the prep, but you never really know what's going to happen, and whether that's a 10K, 5K, half marathon or marathon, you never really know what lies ahead for you in that window.
Yeah.
And there's something about that really excites me when I go for a race. And I think you said the same, Gareth, when we were chatting. And you see you see attendances at track meets sort of on the wane at the time when we were talking about this. Like, and ultimately, like it can be really exciting watching track racing, but for a time it is just watching people run in circles.
Yeah.
For a 10K, you're watching someone do 25 laps of a track.
Yeah.
And it gets exciting in the last two or three.
Yeah.
And we really wanted to bring back that excitement for running and that level of adrenaline, that level of unknown into racing. And we just got chatting and we're like, what if we did something where there was no route?
Yeah.
There are no rules. Like people have...
Yeah, you sort of say it creates that frenetic energy, right?
Yeah,
I know you guys describe it in that sort of...
People are in control of their own racing destiny, ultimately.
It's that opportunity as well, because if you're like me, where it's sort of like did track running when I was young, and then had a massive gap, and then came back into running, you have no idea where to start. You have no idea what to do. You're like, I can't do a track race. I don't run for a club, like, but I want to race.
Yeah.
And then, because I remember, I think you helped me for my first 5K race. I came second. It wasn't a great time. It was quite a low ball race, but I came second. And it was the most underwhelming finish ever.
Really?
When I got there, I was buzzing.
Yeah.
And then when I finished it, I was just like, oh, no one cares. You don't get anything from it. It was just a really weird feling. I didn't really know what to do. And it was around the same time we were having these conversations about how do you change racing? Like, how do you make it more exciting? How do you make it more... It is like accessible. And it's like having these little pop-up little events that we're doing now in so many different cities, and now like in dabbling in Europe, a random guy or girl or whoever can just see this random race on Instagram and be like, oh, that looks fun. What do I have to do? Oh, nothing. I just need to turn up. Sometimes you have to pay, sometimes you don't. And it's like, but we make sure that a lot of people can enter if you want, and then the prize packages you get are insane. Like on the first race, the prizes were insane, and now we've dwarfed that, and it's like I can't even comprehend. Like I wish I was running. Like the amount of value that you get from coming third, for example, is amazing. And then we do spot prizes as well, and it's just to celebrate running more. Is like the whole running is an achievement. If you can go out and run, that's an achievement in itself. If you can compete, like we were talking about earlier, like the art of competition is dying. Like, why don't people want to compete anymore? What's wrong with it? And we're trying to feed that fire again.
Yeah, a bit of friendly competition.
Yeah, it's nice. And then if you do compete well, then you get something from it as well. Like, there's so many runners who came to our first event and now have been kitted out with like some elite gear. And they're loving it. Like, it makes them push harder, go further, and run more, which is what...
I mean, the event I was at with you guys the other week, I wasn't running, so I didn't get any of it. But they all took away like all Adidas shoes and all like loads of stuff. So there's so much to take from it, which is really cool.
For us, a big part of it, and I'll let Gareth touch on sort of the motivation for it, because I know that's something you're really passionate about, but a big part of it was also around rewarding the runners.
Yeah.
You go to so many races, like George touched on, like you finish first, second, third.
Yeah.
You maybe get a polite round of applause as you cross the finish line.
Yeah.
And you don't really walk away with anything as a result of that. And, you know, none of us are elite runners, but I've been at races and I've seen races where elite runners win, come in the top 3, podium, whatever it is, and they get no recognition for it. And so many aspiring elite runners, sub-elite runners, current elite runners go to races and get nothing for their efforts. And they're investing so much time, so much effort, whilst balancing work, trying to have a living alongside breaking through to this next level of running. And we felt that was somewhat unfair.
Yeah.
So
how does it sort of inspire them, I guess? And
exactly. Like
they
how
only
do
get
you
it at
make the
that
leap?
elite
If,
level.
you know, I mean, I did a race and the price was £25 to spend at a welcome break service station. I was like, that's going to pay for your Burger King on the way home. And if you're a elite runner, you're probably not having anything that you
so
can
true.
buy.
There's nothing you can get in the services,
Exactly.
really.
And it's just like, how does that inspire you? How does that motivate you? And you can see why so many aspiring elites potentially end up dropping out the sport, because the reward isn't there for them. So we wanted to try and attract, like, you know, we want fast runners, we want aspiring elites on the starting of our races, as well as everyone else. Like, we want a big range of abilities on our start line.
Yeah.
And we felt like the prize packages were a way of doing that. So we were, like George touched on, we were really fortunate. I think the winners of our first race walked away with about 650 quid's worth of gear from Saucony, Morton, Days Brewing, and a few other different brands. And it was really impressive. And what makes it really exciting is that it's just not automatically going to go to the fastest person on the start line. Like your brother was on the start line. I think he's got a 14
Maguire.
a 14.5 minute 5k PB or something like that, and he ended up getting beaten by someone who runs a 16.5 minute 5k just because he knew the city better. And it really sort of doesn't, just because you're fast doesn't mean you're going to win the race as well. But ultimately, like, you're going to get rewarded
along the way
for both your speed, your strategy, and that was a big motivation. If you've got any,
I think they kind of basically sums it up very well. And I think running's like Luke said, it's probably like at its best in terms of like mass participation. Like, everyone runs now, and much to my annoyance, it's now become cool. I spent like 25 years being like
in the
a
trenches.
little dweeb, like in the shorts.
That was the point when you were like, I'm not really into it now.
Yeah,
Everyone else
exactly.
is into it.
Like, oh man. So no, I'm just kidding. Like, it's great, but it's the competition. You know, we kind of want racing to be like primal and, like you said, frenetic, and rewarding those fast people that aren't quite elite, because it's almost like a bit of a black hole where these people that are sort of very fast but sort of just short of the sub-elite, that aren't quite, I don't know if it's almost become like a bit of a dirty word, like a sort of, you know, it's like, oh, well, kind of, it's almost, I don't know, it's a bit touchy to sort of try and kind of support those guys. Not to say that, you know, they're hard done by, but it's like we want to, reward everyone, like those people for all the work they put in. And, you know, we love having like everyone, like, you know, from all different walks of life at our races. That's what makes it like such a sort of beautiful thing to do. And we really like genuinely do love that. But we're also sort of trying to support these people, that like give them opportunities and things like that, because it's such an important thing in running. Like, you know, we look at sort of world champs recently. One of the best world champs like in years gone by, like in terms of like a spectacle. But like Britain had like 5 gold medals, like across the whole thing, like no gold medals. And you can point to like sort of many different reasons as to why that is. But fundamentally, like if you're not supporting your like faster athletes, and I don't just mean like elites, I mean those below, like trying to make it into the elite, and you're not providing that competition, you're not providing that support and those opportunities, then naturally they're not going to advance like as they want to. So we're really, we're like here to like, you know, have a good time and sort of create like these events that are great and sort of give people opportunities, but like we're really like actually quite passionate about like driving, running forward, like competitive running, because there's so many races now that you can just partake in if you want to at a level that suits you, and that's fine, and that's like brilliant. But that's such like a saturated market. So by like now we're sort of doing something different, and it's not for everyone, don't get me wrong, and that's fine. But yeah, if we can sort of help drive that, like drive the sport forward in a way that works for us, like in a way that we think it should do and we think is great, that's basically what we're sort of trying to do. We're trying to really like sort of push that forward and change like the landscape of running, and kind of give back as much as we can, and give those opportunities to people that sort of maybe might be feeling a little bit like sort of shut out. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at, and we're really, really genuinely like trying to like drive change as best as possible. And it's hard, don't get me wrong, it is hard. There's like stumbling blocks in place, and that's fine. That's just the nature of the beast. Like that is just, it's such a big like world.
Yeah,
you're going to have that, and that's fine. But I think we'd probably all agree that we're pretty relentless, like in that pursuit. And I think like, again, we sort of go back to like Luke sort of talking about when we sort of first spoke about like, getting a bit frustrated. And I always hear people like getting frustrated with different aspects of the sport. And I think really like fundamentally the one thing that like me and Luke was like, just like, well, should we just do it then?
Yeah.
And so, and then George has like brought the same attitude as well of like, it is, it's just a case of like getting it done. Like someone's got to do it, so like why not us? So we're very like passionate about like driving that change, and I think we've showed like we can do it.
A strong sort of a determination in terms of what you actually want to do as well.
Yeah,
like you've got quite clear, obviously, image of what it is you're trying to do. And
I think there's like I always see it as there's three parts to that. There's the part about rewarding the winners, making sure that if you come to one of our races, you are rewarded. Yeah, you get a good prize for winning and putting the best foot forward. Yeah, and that's obviously really important. Also, like it's a way of also almost getting a bit of a platform as well, because we see you could just go and do a run of the mill race and go on your power of 10, and no one's really looking at that. But actually, if you come to a UA race, bag the prize, you get some great content from what George and his team put out. It's a different way of getting recognised and getting noticed. Yeah. There's then the wider participation element, which is where the spot prizes come in, because those very rarely go to the winners of the race. It could be things for like the shortest, like recording the shortest distance.
Yes, yeah.
I always remember we did our first race of Soar a couple of years ago, and it was the guy that came 65th, I think, who ran the shortest distance. And it's rewarding not just the speed, but also rewarding the strategy. Yeah. So that's that's engaging people of all abilities in our race, that there's something in it for everyone, regardless of whether you are a 14-minute 5K or a 25-minute 10K, a 5K. We want you to be able to have skin in the game and be on your toes at all times in our races, because there is something for you there regardless of your pace. And
there's different sort of events that you do within that as well, right? Like so.
And then the third one's also around the spectating, because ultimately we want to create an excitement around watching and digesting running. Whether that's in person at our events, or whether that's digesting the content that George pulls together, because we genuinely believe that can inspire people to then get more into the sport in other ways, in the traditional side of things. You get excited by watching UA races. We've got a lady in Nottingham who, every time we do one in Nottingham, brings her 9-year-old son to the race, and he's such a pleasure to watch, engaging, because he loves the excitement of it. He loves the frantic nature of it, and we feel like that's like inspiring the next generation, because he may well go on to want to watch track meets and whether he chooses to partake in the sport or not. As an actual participant is who knows, but what it might do is inspire him to go down and watch track meets and get bums on seats at those events that need it, and will help drive the sport forward at all
it's
levels.
Good to see that, because you do feel that energy when you go there. Like I say, I went the other week, and I mean we did an event at Love Trails as well, where I was right. I didn't do it the other week, so it was just before my try, so that was why I was out there cheering on that one. But yeah, you do feel the energy when you're spectating as well. You get into it. I mean, I love going along and supporting different events, just because one, you get to just enjoy the pizza, and two, you get to chill on everyone else, right? Like you're enjoying it from the side point, which is always fun as well. And one thing that you do as well is you don't sort of reveal a lot of the details until, just before, like 30 minutes before. What's the reason behind that? Like, where's that from?
I think it's to create that sense of that sense of the unknown that you are.
Yeah.
I don't quite. It's that feeling in the pit of your stomach.
Yeah.
You're not quite sure what's going to happen.
You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But that's not scary. It's a little bit scary, but it's also a little bit exciting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we want people to come into our races with that I don't know whether it's that little knot in your stomach or that little bit of apprehension, but also excitement. That
it's fascinating when you see people turn up. People who don't, because people are still not sure, like unsure what we are and what we do, and they're like, oh, it's just a social run.
Yeah.
And then it's like you get your bib number, and they're like, oh, it's a bit more than a social run.
Yeah.
And then these guys at the desk will say, oh yeah, and then your briefing will happen in like half an hour or so, and they're like, what? And then they ask me, and I'm like, I'm just a camera guy. Like, don't ask me questions, because I'll end up telling you something that I'm not meant to. And then you see them, their mentality will change over the hour.
Yeah.
Be like, they'll go from, this is just a social run, I'm going to have some fun, to, I'm going to race someone now.
Yeah.
I haven't done that since
yeah.
I was at school, which is insane. But I think that's one thing that we've also really brought to our events. It is that pure excitement, that, because when is the last time you've realistically raced someone in a setting like it is like being on the playground again, where you're with your mates or you're with some random people and you're just running from A to B and you don't know why, but you're doing it and it's good fun. And it's bringing that enjoyment back, because as adults now, it's so hard to enjoy stuff. Like, there's not much going on to it. Like, you can go to the pub, but is that actually fun? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But it's
Good
bringing,
to have the mix though.
Yeah,
It's the
there
play.
is pub
But
after.
you often hear like the benefits of like play, don't you? Like
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
reconnecting. Like we all played as kids.
Yeah.
But we don't play as adults, and
No,
that's kind of what you're alluding to.
You're
isn't it?
racing people that you don't know, and it's fascinating. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people forget that sort of fun element, right? Especially
That's
in
it.
running and things. And
and I think that's where the content comes in as well. It's like,
mm,
I've never been to an event as a person. I'm just always there as a director or content person. But I would imagine coming to an event, like, for one, it's exciting racing. Two, it's exciting. We always want to give you a benefit when you get there. So that's trying on trainers or what, because you rarely get to do that in a performance setting.
yeah.
If you do it on a social run, it's quite hard to try on an elite shoe, because
Yeah.
you go in at slow, easy run.
Sure.
In a race setting, it's more fun to try on some crazy elite shoes. So that you're making the average person feel like an elite. That's really fun. So to try and bring that out in content as well, I feel like is so important. And we did start it off wanting to be really serious, really aggressive. It's no, people are coming. There's so many smiles at these events. Why am I avoiding that? So it's over time I've learned people love these events and they're just getting pure enjoyment out of it. Let's try and showcase that and just show how much of a good time they're having. And we did that with video, we do it with stills. The social interaction's insane. But then we always make sure there's a style on top of it, because you could have a cheesy running photo where people are doing that to the camera, and you see it at every race, and it's just a bit naff.
Yeah.
So it's how can we bring that enjoyment that obviously people are getting, but do it in our own way? And it's briefing the photographers to use flash, use certain techniques to make the photos look cool, but also you get that full fun factor out of it. And same with the video. It's make sure everything's high energy, because it's a high energy event. You don't want to slow things down and make it look aggressive and depressive, because people aren't there for that. People are there for enjoyment. And I feel that's where the content has really sort of started to help the events grow, because people now see it and they're that looks like so much fun.
Sure.
But it also looks serious in a way.
Yeah.
I want to go to that and be involved.
Yeah, and it impacts all like the branding as well that you do with it.
Yeah.
Like it creates that sort of like atmosphere that people want to get involved in, I think.
Yeah, that's it. It's the atmosphere. It's and then like with the designs, you want them to look. I love music and gigs and stuff like that. So it's like, how can you bring that culture into running? And skateboarding as well. It's like, how do you bring all that into a scene that is booming? But I feel like running content is always so similar. How do you step aside from that? Like, look at Fontaine's artwork. Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
And then, I could sort of bring that into race poster designs.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And it just helps it grow. And then people are like, oh my God, I love the T-shirts. I love the posters. We've never sold a poster, but people always ask, can I buy one? I'm like, yeah, we should do that.
Yeah. That's really interesting to see
maybe
like,
one
the
day.
influences. And I think that brings that other people in when they see things like they can connect in that way as well.
It's just something a bit different. So,
yeah, definitely. And as well as that, obviously you guys have started expanding out. You've been in Paris lately, and obviously you're going like to Shimon and all around. So like, what are the plans maybe going forward, like from there?
It's not slowing down.
Yeah,
it's not slowing down, which is crazy. I mean, it's super exciting. We've got events. Obviously, we're here in London today for an event tonight. We're in Newcastle in a couple of weeks' time for our first event up there.
Yes,
We've got a couple more planned in London in October. Hopefully, having some tentative conversations about some more in Europe, and
cool.
You know, the States is somewhere we'd like to take it as well.
Yeah, amazing.
It's there's lots of really exciting conversations going on, because we really want, like, as we've sort of experienced, like you say, George, the joy that these are that these races bring, the anticipation, the excitement, the nervousness, like, but that ultimately all feeds into this really high energy. We want more people to experience that.
Yeah.
And we want to take that to new locations. So I've no doubt going to Newcastle in a couple of weeks will be really wild, I think.
Oh yeah.
I reckon the Northeast will
Absolutely.
embrace the energy, and you know, we'd love to see, we've got some, like say, tentative conversations about some more in Europe, and it's
further
all
afield. So it's really, as you said, it's growing so quickly, and there's so many exciting things and different ways that people can get involved. So yeah, definitely do, if you're listening or watching this, like, look out for it, because I can't wait to be joining in the next one pretty soon. And it brings me really to my final question, and we ask this to everyone who sort of comes on the podcast, but for you guys in particular, somebody who's looking maybe to join an unsanctioned athletics event that says to you, I could never do that, I can't even run for the bus, like, what would you say to them?
I think to lean into George's point, like, come and play, come and experience the joy of letting go of some of those inhibitions you have around running, that it's got to be like, because running doesn't have to be really structured. It doesn't have to be, I've got to run this, I've got to run that, I've got to hit this pace.
Yeah.
Just come and have a good time, come and have some fun with running, rediscover like what makes running really exciting. And it is that leap into the unknown.
Yeah.
But we can guarantee you're going to have a good time doing it. You guys got anything to add?
I'd say just get stuck in, you know, like, it's scary, like, doing something it's that fear of the unknown, isn't it? Like, it can be, it looks intimidating, especially, like, I guess on the content, it kind of looks very primal, and it can be, but like I said, I've been in running years and years and years. I've raced like so many times, and this is genuinely like one of the only times that I see everyone like chatting afterwards, having a nice time, just, you know, mixing together and talking about the race. You know, you go to a normal race and everyone just like goes away, and you don't get much conversation sort of pre or post race, but actually it's genuinely like one of the most inclusive environments that I've been in terms of running. I think, we're sort of always on hand. We get stuck in, so we're always like go around and chat to people anyway, and we're sort of conscious of people like that. It can be an intimidating environment, but we're sort of there to try and make it as friendly as possible, and you'll always meet like the nicest people. Yeah. And what I'd say is that you might have like reservations like going into it, but I'd back it and say that you won't regret doing it. So I'd certainly go for it.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, obviously you've already touched on the fun experience of it as well.
Yeah,
so
it's basically what we've all said, but just don't be scared. You will enjoy it. It's going to be, sometimes, yes, it's going to be hard. There'll be a hill, There'll be some roads that you have to.
Yeah, the one in Wales was like that I had to go up at the end.
I think, but you will enjoy it. But when you've done the race, you've seen some mad stuff in and around the city. Like doing the London races, they look wild when people come back and they're like, "Oh, I've just ran around here," and it's just I've never been there as a runner. It's like, yeah, that's cool. But they enjoyed it. You will always enjoy it. You might feel a bit ropey afterwards, but when we feed you with pizza and beer, and you're fine. You're gonna love it.
Yeah. I think just to add to that, like you're always going to come away from our race with a story to tell.
Yeah,
and and that's why it works well for the brands. It's why it works. It's really exciting for us that you're going to come away from that. You're going to cross that finish line, and long after you've crossed it, you're going to have a story to tell to your mates. In whatever environment you want, you're going to have something really cool and really exciting to talk about. You'll have some really cool content out of it to share, which you don't get from a lot of races. And one of our favourite things, like Gareth was sort of touching on, is that gathering on the finish line. You've got runners of all abilities, like the person that's come first and the person that's come last will be chatting, like comparing strategies, comparing routes. Everyone wants to immediately unpick and dissect how their run went. And I think that's really exciting. So you're going to have that story that you don't get from a classic race to walk away with and talk about.
Yeah, I think that's so important. And as you say, get involved and just enjoy the experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, thanks, guys, so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Absolute pleasure. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for listening to this episode of Running for the Bus, presented by BKDMC. Thank you to our guests today, Luke Myers, George Rees-Jones, and Gareth Maguire, as well as our deliriously mad challenger, Fiona Forward, Runna, and the podcast rooms for their support. You can get 2 weeks free runner coaching using the code BKDMC. Head to the Ben Kelleher DMC Insta now to find the tread playlist, the rookie runners training plan, information on how you can become a deliriously mad challenger, and lots more. And if you've enjoyed the show, well, what are you waiting for? Hit follow and you'll be notified every time a new episode drops. We'd also love to hear from you, so do drop us a message or leave a review. See you next time on Running for the Bus, where you can listen and watch on the run, on the bus, or whilst running for it.